Hey everyone, my name is Sari. Welcome back to my channel. This is day 15 of the Simplify Your Life challenge. This challenge was inspired by an ebook from YouTuber Michelle. I will link her channel and the ebook down below. There is a playlist with all of the videos from the beginning if you want to follow along, and I will link that on the screen. So with that, let's get into day 15, find a place for everything. So, if things in your space do not have a home, they will probably end up scattered all over everywhere, or worse, they will end up stuffed into the back of a drawer or a miscellaneous kind of junk drawer, which means that your newly cleaned and reorganized space will either still look messy and cluttered because stuff doesn't have a place to go, or the items that you have gone through and carefully chosen to keep will get stashed somewhere, forgotten about, and unused. Neither of those is desirable as an outcome. So today, what we're going to do is assign a home to everything we own and have decided to keep throughout this challenge. That might sound easy because we've been allegedly going through and giving everything a home as we went along. But I know I still have stuff that was kind of miscellaneous or didn't fit anywhere or whatever that is still just kind of out and cluttering up. And so those things for sure need a home. And I think this is also a really good time for us to check the organization systems we have put in place as we've gone through the challenge to say, is this still working? Things to consider when you are assigning stuff a home. Make it easy. Make things easy to find when you need to access them, and make them easy to put back when you are done. If it's not a relatively easy task to put something away, eventually you're not going to put it away. You're just going to shove it in a drawer or shove it on top or shove it somewhere or leave it where it is or whatever. We all eventually get tired and are like, you know what? I'm not going to take the extra 30 seconds to lift up that whole stack of stuff so I can put this stack of stuff on the bottom of the other stack. We do it for a little bit and then we just kind of get tired of doing it. The best way to handle that is to minimize having to do it in the first place. I know there are places in my house and my storage where that's truly the only option, is put it on the bottom of the other ones. Like my linen storage is like that. When I wash a set of sheets, it just goes underneath the other ones because otherwise you just use the same one over and over again and it gets worn out. So you do have to lift that whole stack and put it under. But it's like once a week. It's not something I'm doing every day. For things you're using every day, you really do need to make those items easy to access and easy to return to their space. I'm not just talking about things like, oh, I need to move a table and then lean around here and then stick my hand around a corner of a cabinet that barely opens, or this is kept in the bottom of a stack of boxes at the back of a closet. If you need to access an item, make sure you can access it. Here's some tips on how to do that from the ebook mostly. I added some things in here, but it's mostly from the ebook. Store like items with like items. Put all your linens together in the same spot. Put all of your makeup together in the same spot. Put all of your clothing together in the same spot. Put all of your kitchen things with their associated kitchen things. So dishware and crockery all in one, cooking, pans, pots, all of that in one spot, flatware, silverware, cutlery, all of that in one spot. Make sure that there's a designated space for this exact category of item. I think most importantly for me, one of the things I'm really trying to do is keep my papers and stationery all together in one spot, because if you watch that video, you saw it was scattered all over the house. It was some in this drawer and some over there and some here and some here. And I think that's going to happen a little bit, but for the most part, it's all together with itself, so that when I go back and evaluate if I need to clear this out, it's all in one spot. When I'm like, hey, do I have X? I know the one place I need to look to see if I have that. And that's a huge improvement over, wait, which spot is that stored in? Where did I keep that? I know I probably have it somewhere, but is it in this drawer or this drawer or this drawer? And you just spend 20 minutes digging through everything in your whole house trying to find the one piece of paper you need. No more, because it's all in one drawer, in one folder. Second tip, fold and store items vertically. This is a Marie Kondo thing, and I think that this is one of her better suggestions. Vertical folding and storing makes things so much easier to see, so much easier to access. You will really, truly be able to quickly open a drawer and say, what is in here? Quickly open a cabinet and see what is in there and get the thing you want. It kind of falls apart when you grab things in the middle and then it all collapses. It's not a perfect system, vertical folding. It's okay in a drawer, kind of, except if your drawers are overly full. But it's better than a whole bunch of t-shirts stacked up where you can only see the top one and you have to rifle through the whole stack, because then it comes apart. I know there are not always good places for vertical folding. See also my linens where they have to be stored horizontally, so I have to pick up the whole stack. It's just how that closet is. But where you can do it, I really do recommend doing it, because it does make it a lot easier to find your things and get your things. Not so much put your things away, but find your things and get your things. Third tip, do not go overboard with storage systems. There are so many stores out there that want to sell you complete home organization storage thing. They're all complicated and complex and proprietary, and they all fit together, and it's modular, and you this and you this. And it sounds really good, and they can have a place, and they do have a place. But many of those systems were created to give you more places to hide stuff. They just create a space where you can shove excess things and forget about it. If you've done the work to minimizing what you own to only what you actually need to use and access, you do not need a whole complicated system to hide all of it away, because there shouldn't be that much that you need to hide away. I think some storage systems have their place, and I am definitely not saying don't use them. I'm just saying be very careful as to what you do and don't buy into, because we all know that the more drawers and cubby holes and hidey places you have things, the more you're just going to put stuff in it and forget about it. Once you've assigned a home to everything, put it away and then clean your space. Whether that's your whole house, that room, your space within a shared space, whatever. Clean it. Truly just go through. Don't just pick it up, vacuum, dust, wipe off the surfaces, clean everything. A really, truly very good clean. You will feel so good when you see your newly organized, put away space all clean. I promise you, it's going to feel really rewarding and really refreshing, and you're going to feel so good about what you have done over the last 15 days, weeks, however long it's taking you to do this. 3, deal with everything else. Discard, recycle, donate, whatever. Everything that is still waiting to be purged. If you're like me, you've just been stacking up a bunch of boxes of things that you need to deal with in terms of, I need to sell this. I don't know where to donate this, so I need to do research on where to donate these things. I need to take pictures and put these online. Now is the time to deal with that. Go through it, get it listed, take it to where it needs to be, take it to hazardous waste, take it to textile recycling, drop all of that stuff off, get it out of your space for good. We're about to move out of the physical declutter portion of this challenge and into the mental declutter and mental clarity portion of this. And the best way for us to do that is to truly not have any of those unwanted things that are holding us back taking up space in our lives anymore. So, get rid of it. We don't need those reminders of the past. We don't need all of that lingering there. We don't need it sitting there cluttering up our space. We don't need it staring at us saying, hey, maybe instead of this, you should be listing this stuff. Maybe you should be working on this. Maybe you should be doing this. We don't need that. It's going to be in the back of your mind until you deal with it. So now's the time to deal with it. Get them dealt with, get them out, move on. It will feel good. This is where I also have to make some big decisions about furniture. Specifically, empty bookshelves that I have. You've heard about it throughout the challenge of I really need to deal with this furniture. So I need to really truly think, can I actually use this in another room? Or is it time for it to just leave? If I wasn't contemplating a move sometime in the next 12 months. This would also be the time to give some consideration to purchasing new furniture to replace the furniture I don't like a dresser and a TV stand. But I'm putting that off because of financial reasons and logistical reasons. I've talked about that. I think for you, this is a time for you to consider that. I realize financial considerations are still very real for a lot of people. Furniture costs a lot of money. If you're in a financial position to buy new furniture and make your space in all of these ways, right? Finally get the furniture you want. Make it feel like yours. Make it feel like somewhere you're happy to live and you're proud to be. Go ahead and do that. I think now's a good time. Just get it all done. This is get it all done week. Just take care of it, again, because we don't want any of these reminders of our past sitting here and lingering. You don't want to have to be constantly sitting there looking at that TV stand going, I really wish I didn't own that, while you're trying to do the mental clarity parts of this challenge. Because you're not going to have mental clarity if you have this ugly thing that you hate sitting right in front of you, bothering you the whole time. So if you can replace it, and you want to replace it, I recommend you replace it now. What to do this week. Photograph all your to-sell items and get them listed. Take any items to be discarded, put them in the bin, take them to hazardous waste, schedule a disposal pickup, whatever you have to do. Bag up any items to be donated and schedule a pickup, or take them to the proper place or wherever you're donating them. Set a reminder on your phone to donate anything that is still unsold in whatever time frame makes sense to you. A month, 3 months, half a year, set that reminder, because it's going to still be there somewhere, lingering, until you sell it. And if you haven't sold it in however much time seems reasonable to you, then it's time to just let that item go. And then, after all of that, we celebrate ourselves. This week's celebration should be a big one. You have minimized and decluttered and organized and put away and reimagined your whole space. And I really hope you feel immensely proud of what you have been able to accomplish so far. I hope that you, like me, are already feeling better in your space. You're feeling more relaxed. You're feeling less stressed. You're feeling happier. I hope you're enjoying all of the benefits of a space filled with only things that you love and you need and that serve you in a positive way. If you're not quite there yet for whatever reason, I hope you're at least starting to feel better. I hope you're starting to see the benefits and see the small improvements that you're making. And you can get to a really good place with all of this soon. I'm hoping that if part of your concern is, oh, I still have all these boxes and I still have these empty bookshelves, that getting those out of your space will make you feel some more of this happiness and this peace and this contentment with everything. I know that we all have to work within the limitations, and many of us might never feel happy or relaxed or at peace in our space. I know that, and I acknowledge that. But I really hope you are taking care of what you can, and you are taking control of what you are able to control. And I hope that you are starting to feel at least some positive vibes from that. You're all doing great, and I appreciate the support and the community you have all brought to this challenge so far. It makes me feel like I haven't been doing this alone, and that is the most motivating thing for me, is to keep doing this, because it's easy for me on a weekend to say, I don't really feel like decluttering today. But then I think, no, but you have to, because you have to create the videos. You have to show the people. You have to say what you've done. You have to have measurable results. Like, it's been really motivating for me to do it while making the video, because I always say that I'll do it. And I do some of it and in like a week at the beginning of the year. And it's kind of whatever I can get done in that week. And then I forget about the rest of it. But not this time, because I knew that people were following along, and that meant that I had to get the video out, and that meant that I had to do it, because you can't get the video out where you show people that you're doing it if you're not doing it. Right. Speaking of, I'm going to put some footage in here right now of me doing the things, and then I will be back to wrap all of this up. All right, so after all of our cleaning, decluttering, reorganizing, I have these things. I have this box of like stationery, art supplies, notebooks, assorted things like that. I have not figured out where to take that yet, so we are going to do some research on that today and get it to wherever it needs to go this week. I have this box right here, which is the yarn that I had from the craft room, and I need to officially make a decision on whether I am going to take pictures of all of that and try to list it and sell it, or I'm just going to give it away and get nothing for it. It's time. I need to make that decision. We have these towels, which need to go to bridging. I have this shelf, which I'm tolerably sure is staying empty. I have not found a use for it. I have not thought, oh, I can move that here. I don't know that we need it. The only thing I can think of is that when I'm done with this media shelf declutter, I may want it, but I don't even think we're going to have enough things left on this shelf to warrant as much space as that shelf gives us. So unless I want to do some kind of combined media / remaining books, notebooks shelf, I don't even think we need that much space. We'll see. I have to talk to Jonas about that. This is, not all of it is stuff I need to sell. Some of it is donation stuff, but this is mostly the things I need to list on Poshmark / Mercari. I've photographed and listed some of it, like these bags are already listed, but a lot of it I have not. We are going to put some serious time and effort into that today, and we're going to decide that if we don't feel like doing it, then we're just going to get a ThredUp box or bag, really, I guess it's a bag, and send it to ThredUp. Same with things that have been listed for a while that are not sold yet. if they're below a certain price point, it's not even worth it to me to try to sell it myself. So I will just get that on ThreadUp, and they can give me, you know, a collective $20. I don't care. I just don't want it in my house. The other thing I need to do is take this shelf and replace it with the white shelf that used to be in the bedroom that you've seen that I replaced with the nightstand. If you've seen the paper declutter video, I showed it in there a lot. I think that it will hold most of these things, and if it doesn't hold that Singer, I need to give that away to someone anyway, so that will motivate me to do that. And then I'm going to try to get this shelf out of here and get this a little bit more cleaned up and organized, and also list all of this fabric for sale. So that will also happen today. I don't know what to do with these rolls of fabric. I bought them when we first moved into this house with the intention of making curtains and then never did. And that's 5 years ago now, so, you know, whatever. I'm slowly working on getting the things off of this shelf dealt with and re-knit or ripped out or whatever. These are a little more complicated, so those are taking some time, but I've done some alterations and I've done some fixing on things, so that's slowly happening. Same with the media. The Plex project is slow, but it's happening, so we'll get there. I have all this stuff back here that I've managed to get onto the Plex, so we're working on it slowly, but it's happening. And then of course I still have this shelf of stuff to deal with, but I've just come to terms with the fact that it's going to live there for now. So that's its home, even if its home is kind of a mess. I don't have time to deal with it, and I'm slowly working through it when I can, but it's not my highest priority. That stuff needs to go in the closet with the workout things. This art needs to get hung on the wall or not. Again, I don't know if we're moving, so I don't really want to hang up a bunch of art and then have to just take it down again. So that's where we're at. Today's projects are mostly going to be figuring out what to do with the empty bookcase, dealing with the brown shelf in the craft room and swapping that out for the other shelf, and listing all the things on Poshmark and Mercari, and maybe taking photos of the yarn to list, but I really truly don't know. I need to have a talk with Jonas to be like, realistically, do I want to do that work? I don't know. So that's what we're going to handle today. So that big tall shelf has now become this, which is good. It still looks like a mess, but knitting project bags are always going to look like a mess. And honestly, in the future, I really hope that I only have one at a time and it doesn't need to look like this. The Singer is still on the bottom there, and that might be leaving, and then that'll free up some more space where I can maybe stash that fabric or move the knitting stuff to the bottom or something. I'll rethink that. It's still a mess, but it's at least not the super tall broken shelf. So it looks like this now, which is a much more manageable amount of stuff. That mess is still Jonas's mess. This mess is now my mess because I did move a lot of the stuff that was on there, but this is stuff that is a quick, easy thing to deal with, so I will just deal with that next. The problem now is that this filming stuff doesn't have anywhere to go. And I don't know what to do about that because it's definitely not staying there. So I may stash it behind this chair because my tripod and ring light are there all the time now anyway because of filming the intros and outros to these videos. So I think what I'll do is the box for the ring light and the tripod can go downstairs because if they're just going to live in that corner, they don't need their boxes. And then the light box, and then I don't know if I'm keeping these lamps. I got them before I had a ring light, but for now I'll hang on to them. Can go in there, or that stuff can go in the bottom of this bookcase because there's nothing really below what you can see in the glass shelves. So I'll think about
if I can just put that stuff in there and then it's accessible to me, but it's also not cluttering up everything everywhere. So we're making progress. We have one room done. We only really dealt with that one shelf because we had to go through some more books and other things that were on a different shelf so that we could make a decision about that shelf. So we got a little bit sidetracked with sorting through manga and art books. So slower progress than I was hoping, but we'll keep plugging away at it.
Welcome back. How was putting things away, cleaning your space? As you saw, I didn't get rid of another shelf yet. Kind of. I did. I threw out a shelf. I repurposed an old shelf. That's good. I still have the empty bookcase, but that's only because we don't have a vehicle big enough to move it anywhere. So that's staying here until we can find a friend who can help us do that. But it's going to happen. I assure you. And the bulk of my time, as you saw, was finally photographing everything to get it listed on Poshmark. It's not on Mercari. yet, but I will get it there. Incidentally, I will link those down below in case you want to buy anything that you saw in those videos of me listing all the things. So that's not technically gone. It's just all hanging out in its box in my closet waiting for people to buy it. So hopefully they do that. I have some old stuff that was listed previously that is past its, if this doesn't sell by X time, donate it. So I need to put together a ThredUp package because I'll just send it to ThredUp and whatever money they give me for it, they give me for it. I don't really care. I'm not selling to ThredUp because I think I'm going to make serious money. I mean, it's a consignment business. You never make money consigning, really. You might make money on Poshmark because there's not the whole third party business, but when you're consigning, obviously the resale value is low, and so you have someone who's then brokering the price of what you would be setting on Poshmark, but they have to make that money, so they're only going to give you like a third of it. So I don't know. I lose patience with people who are like, I sold my stuff to ThredUp and they didn't give me any money for it. Like, of course they didn't. They're only getting $20. You shouldn't be selling your stuff to consignment hoping to get rich. It's really just, this has value of some sort and people might want to buy it. And yes, you could give it to Goodwill. You can get nothing for it. That's fine. So I may do that, or I'll send it to ThredUp and get like $10. It's more than I got when I just gave it away, right? I don't know. You do what feels good to you. But point is, I've had stuff on Poshmark for a really long time, and it's clearly not going to sell, so it needs to just go somewhere else. So I have to do that still. I haven't done that. Other than that, how did you do? Did you get all of the things out of your space? Did you finally make the effort to take things where they needed to go? Have you been doing it all along and you were like, I already put everything away and got rid of all the stuff? If you did, good for you. I tried and I did decently well, but there's still stuff. So even now I still have stuff for bridging because shelf. Jonas is going to miss their weekly appointment with the Wednesday night closing crew at bridging. They actually know the car now. That's how much stuff we've given them. They like us a lot. Anyway, leave me some comments. Let me know how you did. Let me know how you feel. Are you feeling good about this? Next week is all about reflection, so we'll talk about that a lot more next week. Then after that, we're going to move into some like digital space decluttering as a like little stair-step transition to soul, mental, emotional decluttering. That's when the hard work starts. For me, at least. Getting rid of my stuff is super easy compared to figuring out what makes you happy. That's a big question. I'm not looking forward to it. I'm actually terrified to do that part. That's why it's important. Anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Leave me some comments. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're feeling. If you want to know about future videos, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. And I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye.